You are listening to the Novel Writing Podcast, episode 66. Grab a cup, cozy up, and let's get to writing. Today's episode is about the garbage first draft. Your first question might be, why do we keep calling it the garbage first draft? Well, the answer to that is this. We call it the garbage first draft because, typically, first drafts are garbage. They're messy, inelegant, meandering. They lack cohesion, structure, consistency, and they tend to have an indecent number of adverbs. First drafts are full of info dumps, saggy middles, flat characters, too many characters, names that don't really fit characters, scenes that don't belong, run-on sentences, quite like this one, and editing notes written right in the middle of a paragraph because you forgot the word for the wet stuff that falls from the sky during storms. It's rain, by the way. First drafts have one job, and one job only, to exist. That's it. If you expect the first draft to be or do anything other than exist, then you're expecting too much of it. The first draft is your word vomit, and that's all it needs to be. We do not publish first drafts, but we also don't want to spend an eternity trying to write the first draft. I've seen authors spit out complete first drafts in the 60-day challenge, and I've also seen them take 3+ years to do it. How long it takes you doesn't really matter as long as you're not expecting to be able to slap that manuscript onto Kindle Direct Publishing the week after you write the end. I want my first drafts to be garbage. I want them to be disjointed and messy and have scenes that don't make sense and scenes that contradict themselves within 3 paragraphs. Why? Because it means the creative process is working. My brain is taking the little nuggets that popped into my Fron during a hike a year ago and placing them into the kiln that will eventually turn those little nuggets into a gold bar. I'm taking action on things that had once just been dreams, and the first drafts are just the first set of proof that I am capable of doing hard things. I'll never pretend that the first draft is easy. For me, it can be fantastically hard. As I record this, I am struggling with the first draft of the 3rd book in the Chronicles of Talam, titled Tides of Fate. It's fighting me tooth and nail, probably because I have let it fight me. Just because I have all of this surprisingly useful advice about how to write first drafts doesn't mean I take that advice all the time. I have to remind myself all the time that the first draft is supposed to be garbage, because I will find myself trying to make that first draft less garbagey while I write. But I know that it's destined to be garbage, and that's all it needs to be. The gold comes out in the refining process. The same is true for any book. But to get that final draft at all, we need the first draft to exist, so that we have something to edit. So let the first draft suck. Let it be garbage. Let it do its only job of existing, and stop trying to make it be a final draft when all it ever wanted to be was the first draft. That's it for today's episode on the garbage first draft. Thanks for joining me today, and again, remember, the first draft is supposed to be garbage. Thanks for listening to the Novel Writing Podcast. If you're ready to stop struggling and start finishing your novel, check out the 60-Day Novel Writing Challenge. It's a step-by-step program designed for solo writers to complete their first draft with clarity and focus. Visit the link in the description to learn more.